Hello everyone, welcome back to the Addicted Bookworm. So it is time for a much more detailed review of The Iron King by Juliet Gagawa. I hope I'm pronouncing her name right. So this is the first book in the Iron Fae. And I got this book, I believe it was, I think it was back in December I got this book. Because I wanted to see if this was going to be any good. So this is published by Harlequin Teen. And the difference between Harlequin Teen and some other publishing houses is that as far as I know of, I've never read a book that was printed from Harlequin Teen. So this is my first book from that printing house, or from that publishing house. It feels like that the author cares more about the story and the plot than about any kind of like romantic attachment, though she includes it as part of what this girl goes through. So I don't know how old she is in this book, but she's a teenager in high school. And her name is Megan Chase, and she is dirt ass poor. No way around it. She is poor. And so, what happens is, I think it's her stepfather, gets really seriously. I think it's like either her mother. I think it's her mother gets seriously hurt, and so her stepfather, at least I'm assuming that's her stepfather, has to take her to the hospital. Well, so as soon as they leave, Ethan wants something to eat. Now, Ethan is 4. However, that's not Ethan. That is a changeling, we later on find out. And what basically happens is her high school friend, I believe his name was Justin, but he's actually Puck, basically tells her that that's not Ethan, that is a changeling. And so she has to go into the Never Never to find Ethan, assuming that Ethan was taken by the Winter Court. Sorry, I'm going to have to take multiple drinks on this video. So, of course, she follows him, and she goes through several close encounters with some monsters that shouldn't be real but are. And when she finally makes it to the court of Lord Oberon, or King Oberon, she discovers that she is his daughter. And that is its own drama in itself. So she encounters the Winter Prince named Ash, and we find out later on that Ash is actually a twin, and not the most greatest way, not the greatest way. And so what happens is Grimm goes and helps her to get back into the mortal world to do a shortcut to Tir Noge, which is the land of ice and snow and its winter court. As they are trying to get to the Unseelie court, they get there and they encounter 2 things. 1, Ash, who knew exactly where they were going, and 2, these mechanical iron things. And these mechanical iron things have Ethan. And that's how she finds out that it's not the Winter Court that has Ethan, it is this Iron Court that has Ethan. That the Iron King is holding Ethan hostage. During the course of this book, Megan has to come to terms with what she is, who she is related to, why people hate her like they do. She makes a deal with Ash that if he helps her get Ethan back and gets him back to the world of humans, that she will go with him to the Unseelie Court. And so that is the bargain they make. And they go on this wild quest that really, really opens Ash's eyes to a danger that's going to affect both courts. A threat that Ash cannot ignore. That Ash has to come to terms that there is forces going on in the world of the Never Never that Oberon and Mob and Titania and all those characters have no idea is waiting on them. We also find out a lot about the Iron Court. We find out that they are linked to technology and humanity. So they are literally what, how should I say it? They are the force that modern man has embraced, that modern man believes in. The Old Guard, or the Old Bloods as they're being called, are the ancient beliefs, the ancient folk practices, what people believed in a long, long time ago. We find out that the Iron Fae, just like the Summer and Winter Courts, do have a vulnerability. And when I finished reading the book, it made sense of why they had that invulnerability. That vulnerability. That while it's iron that is dangerous to Fae, because iron represents, and I'm going to go on the limb by saying this, I believe that iron represents something that humanity can actually physically see, which is why they're vulnerable to it. But acid rain breaks down iron, and therefore that's what they're vulnerable to. I like how Megan grows as a character. It's a very slow growth. She goes from this whiny girl to this young lady that realizes what's at stake. And she also understands that this is what she is. She is Fae. She's half Fae, but she's still Fae. And her mother finally admits that she's known that Ethan is not Ethan. That Ethan was them. She calls them them. And when she finally sees what her daughter actually is, she's like shocked. Absolutely shocked. But as I said, I liked the development of the relationship between Ash and Megan, even though I have a feeling that Ash is several thousand years old. I like Ash as a character because he really honestly does care about his family and his court, and that's really great. I also love the fact is that he can actually be vulnerable and really show his feelings when they need to be shown. He doesn't, when he's weak, he doesn't pretend to be strong. He has that determination, but Megan is able to tell when he's weak and when he is susceptible to being attacked. She also feels like a mother between these two, Puck and Ash. Like, excuse me, we got some more important problems to worry about. I did feel bad for the old Iron King. This man honestly feels like a very good person, but he could not keep up with advanced technology like computers and viruses and cell phones and stuff like that. But the Iron King that Megan kills is the epitome of every modern thing that we have. He had a Bluetooth in his ear, which is weird, but he is part of the new kind of iron and everything. Um, overall, overall, I enjoyed this book a lot. The characters were amazing. The world of the Never Never was absolutely beautiful. It was detailed. Um, and you really want to root for Megan. Megan is not this starry-eyed girl that she goes to Never Never and she's immediately like, ooh, look at the pretty things. She has somebody to remind her several times that this is not the land of fantasy. This is a dangerous place. And as she goes through all these trials and she sees for herself how dangerous this world actually is and how bigoted it is, those rose-colored glasses come off real fast. She has a determination, a drive that I really love seeing in characters. She has a goal, and that's the only thing she can think about is finding Ethan. This girl, she loves her brother to death. This is like strong bonds that are so powerful that they helped her defeat the Iron King. Because if she wasn't focused, if she wasn't determined to save people that she cared about, she could not have done it. Right off the bat, she would not have been able to defeat the Iron King. But she had a drive and determination that I really don't see in a lot of female characters. I see characters that that everything comes easily to them, and they're like, oh, look at me, look how self-important I am. Megan is a very humble type of character. She has drive, she has focus, she will go anywhere if it means that she finds Ethan. She loves Ethan more than life itself, and she is willing to do what it takes to get to him. And of course, Ethan is very relieved to have finally been rescued. Very happy. But he also has his own fear. You can tell, like, he has post-traumatic stress disorder because he's worried about his sister, and that, oh, you're one of them, and that's what the Iron King told me, and everything. And she has to continuously reassure him that she's not like the others. But yeah. So, another thing that I want to definitely talk about in this review of this book is the bigotry that Megan goes through. So, one of the things that Titania makes very clear, that she hates Megan. She absolutely hates Megan. And because she holds power, she believes she can treat Megan however she wants. It's only when Oberon arrives with his guards, who have no problem in killing the queen, that she backs down. However, when he leaves, she decides to turn her into a servant, making her very well aware that she is not wanted. Now, Ash is very different. Man, especially after what he goes through, and about the bravery that Megan shows, especially when she makes the roots that are unpolluted by the Iron King to come up, and she uses her magic to do this. I have a feeling in the second book that because she defeated the Iron King, she's going to have a little bit more respect in the courts. That's what I think is going to happen. But yeah. Now, here's the thing about what happens when she comes back from defeating the Iron King. She's the people that made her life a living hell, that normally she would shrink away from. They do not realize that the little boy in her arms is her brother, and they would make those kinds of jokes. Oh, look, she had a kid. This cheerleader who Puck did something to her face. Gives her a ride home and everything. So they they have no idea of the stuff she's been through, but in the end it made her a stronger character, and I really hope that the author continues with her development as a character. Alright, so with this review over, what is my rating for this book? 5 stars. This book was absolutely beautifully written, wonderfully done, and I'm so glad I found this book and everything. So, I'm actually going to go on Libby and see if the Iron Princess is available for me to check out. Definitely looking forward to getting the physical edition of the Iron Princess. So let's see who the Iron Princess actually is, and what's going to go on with Megan, because now she's heading back to the Unseelie Court as part of her bargain with Ash. So, absolutely loved this book. Love this book. This book was so good. So good. Alright, I will see you guys around, and yeah, have a good day.